two, one. Yay! We are live. Here it is on this Friday, March 12th. This is our coffee talk jam session. You tell them that it's going to be a great day. MEK said it's going to be a great day. And yes, we are playing with markers, but they have caps on them. And it's just something to play with while we're doing this, like a drumstick. So today, guys, I've got a special guest. MEK is going to be telling us, should we build a community for our business and our brand, an audience? Should we build one? I don't know, Emmy. What do you think? Do you think we should do it? You think there's any benefits to creating a community or an audience? Basketball. Do you think it's worth it? Should we do it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on this jam session. So I'm going to be teaching my granddaughter today if she should create an audience when she decides to build a brand. That's what we're going to talk about. Does that sound like fun? You want to do that? What do you think? Oh, we're getting some sweet baby girl, lucky pop pop. Thank you, Karen. Yes, I am a lucky guy. So as you guys can see, we are going to be doing a jam session here very soon. And we're going to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I am going to make this short today. We're going to go about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And here's why. Getting ready to head out of town. My daughter, I almost said Alexis, Kayla, is going to be in a volleyball tournament this weekend. And we're all heading down to the beach. And we're going to go and hang out. We're going to, watch some volleyball. And we're going to hang out and enjoy this sweet little thing. So let me ask you guys, are you currently right now building an audience in any way? You can tell me anyway. It was email list building, could be building an audience. It could be creating a Facebook group or community. Any of those forms could be building an audience. And there's all different ways that you can do it. I've built multiple audiences in my life. And let me just tell you something. It usually always does work out. Yeah. It always usually is a really good idea because you want to know why, Emmy? Do you want to know why it's good to build an audience? Emmy, look at me when I'm talking to you. Emmy, I'm over here. So the reason why you want to build do you want to tell me why you want to build an audience? Do you want attention? Do you want attention, MEK? Don't hurt your knee. I think she's going to play the drums. She might be my drummer. You want to be a drummer? You don't want to play guitar? Nah, we'll decide that later. All right, guys. What's up, David? Happy Friday to you as well. What's up? What else we got here? Oh, Alejandro, what's up, man? Some people go all out on being a teacher's pet. What up, Professor? Yes, this is the #1 teacher's pet right here. You're absolutely right. Let's see here. Scooby Life, what's up? Scooby Life. Yes, you are building an audience. I would love to know how. How are you doing that right now? Karen, yep. Thanks for your teachings. No problem. Ruth says, hello, MEK. You're getting so big. How precious. Say thank you to Ruth. Ruth, thank you. Thank you for that great comment. What's up, Helene? Happy Friday to you as well. Salama, what's up? So cute. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm a little further away from the mic today. I might have to boost my levels here. All right, cool. So let's see here. I'm just scrolling. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, so a couple things before we do jump in to this coffee talk. All right. Yeah, put that one back in there. That's probably better. Here's what we're going to be talking about, though, is building an audience. Is it the right thing for your business right now? Building a community. And this question actually came in from Salama last week. So we're going to officially kick this off. But before I do, I did have a reminder. If you attended the Content Creation Challenge, you should have gotten an invite for BCA, Brand Creators Academy. There was an email that went out. If you did not receive that, make sure you message me. There's a special offer that is in there as well. And I want to say thank you guys so much for attending the 7-day content creation challenge because it was a lot of fun. And a lot of content was created during those 7 days. and people now have live content out there on the internet, which is awesome. So, okay, cool. Using ConvertKit for opt-ins. That's great. How often are you communicating with that list? I would love to know that as well. Debbie, oh, she's so adorable. Thank you, Debbie. All right. So are we ready? Are we going to officially kick this off? Officially? Because I have to kick this show off, and we have to do this a little bit different. No, you want to put that in there. See? You know what Emmy says? I get what I want. That's what she says. Don't you? Is that what you say? All right, here we go. We're going to go to mom. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys. Have a great day. All right. That was fun. Now, listen. You guys have heard me talk a lot about, like, okay, when you are building a business, what are you doing it for? Well, it's being able to be able to hang out with people in your life, in your family, and do those things. Now, I'm not saying that I don't work. I'm not saying that I don't work hard. I do. But the biggest thing for me has always been schedule. Is can I create the flexibility in my schedule to do things like right now? It is Friday. I am planning on leaving as soon as we get done here. We're heading to the beach. We're going to spend the whole weekend there to be with my daughter who's playing in a volleyball tournament. So we're going to be there to watch that, but we're also being able to enjoy some time together. I've always built my schedule really into my business. So my business gets built around my schedule is what I'm trying to say. So when my son was young and my daughter was young and they had activities, I would mark that in my calendar first, and then everything gets built around that. And that's the way it still is to today. Now, does that mean that you don't work? No, it means you work when you allow that time. So it's really important that we understand that. I think you guys are a lot like me, that the biggest thing for me isn't about how much money I'm making or how many toys I have or any of that stuff. That's not as important at all as it is to be able to have my own schedule and create my own hours. That's it in a nutshell. So again, it does take planning. It does take discipline, but I think anyone can do it. And right there, perfect example. You got to see my granddaughter today, and it's just that's why we do what we do. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing it for? So all right, we're going to officially kick off this jam session. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But we are going to be talking about community and should you build a community for using whether it's Facebook, email, whatever. There's different forms. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna kick this off officially. Oh, guys, do me a quick check here. A little sound check. Okay, Salama already did. Loud and clear. Okay, good. I don't need to do that then. All right, here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to another Friday jam session. Today, man, I'm excited because number one, if you were here live before I officially kicked this off, you guys got to meet my granddaughter, Emmy K, who was making a guest appearance, who is just over 7 months old and just woke up from her nap and pretty happy today, actually. So really excited. We're getting ready to head to the beach to go with my other daughter, Kayla, and we're going to watch her for a volleyball tournament, a beach volleyball tournament. And my other daughter, Alexis, and her husband came down with my granddaughter, and they're going to come over and or come with us and watch the tournament. We're going to spend some time together. So this is, though, a official jam session. All right. So what we're going to be talking about here today, all right, is should I build a community for my brand? And if so, what platform should I use? So that was a question that came in about a week ago, actually, maybe a week and a half ago. And I said, you know what? That's going to be a good discussion for one of our jam sessions. So if you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to be part of our live jam sessions, all you need to do is head on over to takeactioncrew.com. Again, that's takeactioncrew.com. You can go there. There's a pretty cool little player that will go through all of the past episodes. So you can go there, you can search for whatever you're looking for, and it'll go to that specific spot. The other thing is there's a little bonus coffee talk that I did with my live audience in, where was that? That was in Texas, right? Yeah, Texas. And we did Brand Accelerator Live 2019. So if you're interested in checking all that out and being part of our morning crew, head on over to takeactioncrew.com. All right. So here we go. Let's dig into this. Should you create a community for your brand? And the very first thing that I want to discuss is, what does that actually mean? What does a community mean? Right? We can build a community on Facebook. We can build a community on a forum. We can build a community through email. We can build a community on YouTube. Like, we can build a community pretty much anywhere we want. You can build a community on Instagram if you want to. Okay. But here's my thing. A community takes work. It takes time. It takes time not to just build the community, but to nurture the community, to add value to the community, to be in there and actively be in there. Okay. So if you are just starting out, do I think that you should just start a Facebook group and try to build that? The answer would be no. I would not start there. Now, give you an example of this, and this is going back a few years now. When I started the podcast, which originally was called The Amazing Seller, some of you might remember that. We did over 800 episodes as The Amazing Seller, and then I rebranded to Rock Your Brand. But when I started the podcast, didn't know if it was going to turn into anything. I did it for probably 3 to 5 months. And then I started, thinking to myself, like, man, I wonder if I should create a Facebook community so people could carry on the conversation, right? But even before that, the very first thing that I did was I started building an email list. And the reason why I was building the email list is, number one, it's easy, okay? And I say easy because I don't need to have a platform that I have to learn or I have to set up or even just manage, right? It's not about activity, right? I've said, I just want to be able to stay in touch with these people, and I want to be able to let them know what we're doing, like podcast, wise, like topics and all of that stuff. So I started with an email list, and I always start with an email list. I would not start and say, okay, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to then set up a Facebook group immediately. I would start the podcast, then I would do an email list, and then or vice versa. I might start with an email list and coming up with a lead magnet or something that is going to get that right person's attention to help them. And then I might bolt on a podcast. I might bolt on a YouTube channel. Those are just avenues for me to be able to teach, right? So a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to build this big Facebook group or this big Facebook page, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of people. The problem with that is number one, it takes work to not just build it, but to maintain it, right? And then you have the algorithm to worry about and all of that stuff. So I'll give you an example on this. I built the Amazing Seller group up to over 58,000 people, almost 60,000 people. And in the beginning, it was great. And then as it grew, we started getting a lot more spammy stuff in there. And then we started getting people that were just trying to get in there to promote stuff. And it took a lot of, I had 3 admins at the time that were approving and disapproving and all of that stuff. And then also, as we shifted the focus of being more brand building, we weren't really speaking to that audience anymore, but it also just required a ton of work and it just didn't make sense anymore. So we ended up taking that group and archiving it, basically not making it active anymore. And people thought I was crazy. And then I started the Rock Your Brand group, which is now still under 1,000 people in that group. Okay. And I like it better for this reason. It's more concentrated. It's pretty easy to manage. Okay. It's not as big. And also, I only want the right people. But here's the thing. Even though I did that, my email is way more engaged than that group, right? That group, I specifically told people, and they have to answer a few questions, that this group is about you seeing what I'm posting. I'm going to post podcast episodes. I'm going to post promotions. I'm going to post anything that is related to what I'm doing in this group. And if you want to be part of this, go ahead and fill out these few questions. And they did. And even though they've done that, Facebook still limits my reach. They still limit my reach. Now, is email going to get delivered 100% to everyone? No, but it's going to get there a lot more than it will for Facebook. So I'm doing both. But if I had the choice, and if you're like just starting, it's building the email list. And then from there, sending out one email a week. Like that's what I would do. All right. Now, if you are listening to this and you're like, Scott, I haven't started building my list and I'm not sure that it's the right time for me to build my list, I'm here to tell you that yes, right now is the time. The only regrets I've ever had in any business ventures is that I did not start building my list sooner. Okay, that's been my only regret. All right, I've been building online businesses now for over 12 years. Okay, and even in my brick and mortar business, I was doing email list building, just a lot more bootstrapped. Really bootstrapped, like using Gmail or Yahoo to send emails. But as I've evolved, I've seen how valuable it is, and you can build a community. Now, the community, people think of, it's got to be people being part of a group. It does not. It could be you sharing people's stories in your community, right? So that's why some people would have thought I would have came in here and said, go start a Facebook group. We'll get there, okay? But right now, if you do not have the email list, I would start with the email list, okay? I would start with the email list. If you don't know how to build an email list, I've made it very, very easy for you to build an email list. I have a workshop that you can go through. It's under 3 hours. It will give you all the details on how to build the email list, how to get it up and running, and multiple ways on how you can do it. You can head on over to, let's see, what is it? I think it is, let me just do the one I know off the top of my head. Actually, let me go ahead. I've got 3 links for it. So let me just go ahead and pull up the one that I know. I think it's emaillistclass.com. Let me make sure of this now. Yep, emaillistclass.com. There you go. That's how prepared I was. So it's emaillistclass.com. If you go there, you can go through the workshop. You'll be done in under 3 hours, and you'll be starting to build your list in less than 24 hours. All right. So no excuses. So once I would build my list, then I would say, okay, let me think about now having people share a conversation together and start building more of the external community, right? Or more of the public community, okay, where people can interact with each other. So this would be something like you might go ahead and send an email and say, you know, hey, I'm really curious, like, what is your number one way in the past year that you've been able to catch more bass in a pond? Actually, do me a favor, head on over to our Facebook community and let everyone know there. And you might even pick up a few tips because everyone's going to be sharing their ways. And then you would just direct them to a post that you would create, right? But the trick is here, and really the key and the secret for a community, as far as like a public community or even a private community, you need to be engaged. You need to show up there every single day. Okay. You need to publish at least something. And a lot of times it could just be a conversation starter. It could be like, what's the, or where are you fishing this weekend? And then everyone would say where they're fishing. Or what's your favorite lure to catch bass? That might be the question. So you're going to do a lot of question stuff so people can start interacting with each other. And then you're going to kind of mix in content that is related to why they're there, right? So what I would do, email list first, always. That's going to build a relationship with you and them. And then you're going to introduce them to each other through a Facebook group or a page. Now, a page is different than a group. And let me talk about the differences. Number one, a Facebook page, a business page, number one, you should have that. Everyone should have a business page. So if you don't have one, you should go create one for your brand. And here's why. Number one, anything that you do on that page or in that page, anyone that interacts with any of that content is now going to be a custom audience that you can retarget or use for a lookalike audience later if you decide to do Facebook ads. So it's a given. The other benefit of doing it is you can create content there and still have a conversation. So you can build that community there. It's not a group that someone else has to join. It's just a page, okay? People can follow the page. They can like certain things. They can share certain things. And that's the power of having a page over a group. Is the page, you can share stuff outside of that page, right? In the group, You're only going to be able to share within the group. Okay. Which sometimes is good. Okay. I mean, we have a private group for Rock Your Brand. And then we also have a private group for our Brand Creators Academy. Okay. And we want it that way. But I also have the page, the business page, so I can publish stuff like this right here. Like right now, if you're listening to this, it's the recording from a live that I did on Facebook. Well, as I'm here doing this live, I've got people that are here live. I've got people that can watch the replay. They can share it. They can like it. They can heart it. They can do all that stuff. And every single touch, every single engagement, even someone watching this for a minute or 10 minutes or all the way through, is going to be part of an audience that I can further reach through a paid ad. All right. So that's a huge benefit to doing it through your page. So even if you are creating your community, your group, I would do it in this order. Create your business page and start publishing content on there. And that content a lot of times is just going to be mentions of your long form content, something like a blog post, something like a YouTube video, or maybe a podcast. Whatever it is that you're going to be giving longer form or longer, consumption time, that would just be a mention on the page. And then what I would do is I would share that inside of the group if you decide to do a group. But I would do it in that order. I would do email list, page, group, okay, in that order. And I would use Facebook. I can't tell you how many people I have watched try to not use Facebook as their community builder, and they end up coming back to Facebook. And the reason why is because people don't want to go outside of Facebook. It is what it is. As much as I am not a huge Facebook user, like I don't sit there and scroll through my feed and just see all of the random stuff. I go into my groups that I want to be a part of, and that's about it, right? And I go to my page and I try to be helpful, okay? So what you want to do is go where your market is and do not fight that, right? If you go and try to, set up a forum, let's say, there's forums out there that are doing okay, right? The problem is people are always logged into Facebook, but they're not always going to log into the forum. So to me, it would be the platform that I would use would be Facebook. Okay. It would be a Facebook page, Facebook group. All right. So a very basic thing here for your brand would go in this order. I'd build an email list so I could start to communicate with my audience. Okay. And you're technically building an audience when you're building an email list. These people, think about it, are paying attention to what you're saying. If you are doing it properly, you're showing up, you're delivering value, and you're being helpful, but you're also getting them to know what you stand for. And not even that, like you'd be like, well, Scott, if you're into bass fishing, what do you mean you stand for something? I stand for being able to get out in nature and enjoy fishing and getting myself out of the day to day. That's what I stand for. That's what we do as bass fishermen, right? Like people are starting to understand what you stand for in your brand. So the email list allows you to do that on a regular basis. So step one would be build the email list. That's building your audience. Okay. You can then point them to any content you create, blog post, YouTube video, podcast, any of those. Okay. And then the next move would be the Facebook page. And the reason why is because the page is going to be a place where people still can go there. If you want to link over to a poll, if you want to link over to a question that you ask, just send an email and then drive them over to the Facebook page, right? And while you're doing that, something that a lot of people don't know is you're also building a custom audience in the background that is targetable and you can retarget later if you decide to, automatically without even trying. So you're building somewhat of a list that you don't own, but it is your list that you can target because you've put the content and you've gotten the reactions, you've gotten the touches that you could potentially use as a Facebook ad or for a Facebook ad later. And there's really a lot of cool things you can do with it. You can retarget those people directly. You can create 1% audiences off of those or lookalikes, 2%, 3%, all the way up to 10% or more. So a lot you can do. Okay. So that's why that piece is important. And you may just want to stop right there for now, right? And just again, you're sharing some of your content there. You're asking questions there, and you're building that community. So we have audience and community. Okay, audience email. Audience could also be in the Facebook page, right? And then from there, if it makes sense, that's where you would say, hey, let's create a group so we can have the insiders of bass fishermen, right? And that would be that. But I would do it in that order, okay? If I was going to do all of that, right? But to start, if you do not have an email list, boom, you're going to start right there, okay? And secondly, if you're building your email list, guess what? You're probably going to start running some Facebook ads to build your email list, and you're going to need a Facebook business page. So that's why you would kind of do both, right? So they kind of work hand in hand. That's what I would do if I was considering building a community, building an audience, and that is the order, and that is the platform that I would use for the community side is Facebook, and the audience build would be through email list building. So that's what I would do. Hopefully that was helpful. Now get on out there and build your audience, build your community. Cut. All right, guys, that was officially our Friday jam session. So we have any quick questions here before I got to jump? Let's see here. All right. The Scooby Life. I've been around since Amazing Seller. That's awesome. Atlanta House. What's up, Derek? Alejandro, how can you ensure that this community won't become spammy or watered down like the Amazing Seller did? You want it to grow, but degenerates will infiltrate. They will. So here's how you do it. And you have to be really, really diligent about this. Come up with your approval questions, okay? And you have to be strict about that. You're going to have to approve every single person that comes through. The other thing that I do, if you do not have a profile picture, okay? If you do not have a profile picture, and I don't mean it's got to be a person's face, but just a profile picture, then you're just not even going to get in, right? So that's like rule number one. If you didn't take the step to put a profile picture in there, then I'm not even considering it. I'm just going to hit disapprove. So it's asking those filtering questions and then from there, approving those people. You will need to monitor the different comments. If you see someone getting out of order, boom, you're going to hide or block or ban. Okay. So you have to keep up on that. When you get to that level where you're getting hundreds of people a day joining, it becomes more challenging. Of course, that's where if you have that many people, you either got to start charging for access, and that'll limit the amount of people, right? Or you have to have people that are managing, one or two people at least that are going to be managing the people coming through, right? That's how you do it. But that's why, again, I like the email list page, right? Fan page, or well, used to be called fan page, business page, doing that. And then if it makes sense, then you do the group. And then the group itself will, it'll be just more community. You know what I mean? Like really more community. So hopefully that helped you, Alejandro. Michael, if you're not an expert on your content, would that change when you create the community until you become more knowledgeable? No, because you don't have to pretend you're not the expert. It's like you're just the one organizing it. It's like you're the organizer. You're just leading the charge, right? You're like, hey, I'm going to go figure out this thing, or I'm going to take you guys on the journey with me. I want to create a safe place for us to talk about how to catch more bass. Here it is, the Ultimate Bass community, right? Or Addicted to Bass Fishing community, right? Like that's it. You don't have to be the expert, but you're almost going to be like an expert because you're going to have more authority because you're the one that's in charge, right? You're the one that's letting people in and not letting people in, right? So it actually can have a positive effect in that way. So yes, I would say, don't worry about that. Salma, can people interact with each other in a Facebook page or only with you? No, they can totally back and forth. Absolutely. It's public, right? So people can post something or, make a comment and then someone can reply to that comment. And you can see these content threads. So yeah, you can totally do it. So that's why there's a lot of benefits to the business page, a lot of benefits. All right. And even if you have a group, you want that page, and I would always share my content on the page or post it on the page and then share it into the group. Always. Let's see here. Salma, again, can anyone join your Facebook page, or can you ask questions and collect email when people ask to join and let them in? Yes, you are going to ask questions. Yes, you can ask them to put an email in, but you cannot make it mandatory for them to get in. Like, that can't be like one of the qualifiers. We do that now, and then you have to literally copy it into a spreadsheet. We have a way that we can copy it into a spreadsheet, and then it'll automatically through Zapier get hooked into ConvertKit. But again, you don't have to do that right now. And I would say I wouldn't probably have someone give you their email address. I would just ask a couple of questions, qualifiers, and then make sure that they have a profile picture, and then just allow them to join that way. But that's for a group. That's not for a page. For a page, anyone can follow, anybody can like. So there's no, you can't do that unless it's a group. How would you collect email addresses for your Facebook page? Where would you put your lead magnet? Well, number one, I would post it, and then I would make that the pinned post. So anyone that comes to the page for the first time is going to see that pinned post. Secondly, I would make sure anywhere that you can include your links to the lead magnet, which will be in your description area, I would add it there. And then I would just constantly be bringing it up throughout. I wouldn't be, spamming my own page, but I would be mentioning it, as I'm, discussing content. But that would be for starters. Russ, if you create content, is it better to have the email point to the Facebook page or blog page? Okay, it's a great question. What's our goal? Is our goal to get traffic to our blog post right now, or is our goal to get people to interact with our Facebook page, so that way there we can get more engagement, we can show the algorithm that we're having discussion, and then they're going to give us more reach. So you see, there's different times for different actions. So if you just want to get people to your blog post, then I would just directly link to the blog post in the email. If you were trying to do something to show also that there's community side of it, like people are discussing it and it's not just them, then you might want to just create a poll and say, hey, go answer this poll on Facebook. And then you can mention it in the email. So it really does depend on what your goal is. And you probably want to do a little bit of both, to be quite honest. Thank you. I will have a great day at the beach. Scooby Life. Oh, thanks, Kyle. Great seeing your granddaughter, Pop. Thank you. Yes, she's adorable. Okay. Why did you use StreamYard for your challenge lives instead of Zoom to Facebook? Great question. Simplicity. I've used them both, and I'm probably going to do, I'm definitely going to do a training inside of Brand Creators Academy. Absolutely going to do a training there, because I think that there's a lot that we can do with Facebook Lives, and I don't think a lot of people are using them, and I think you could. StreamYard makes it super easy, and I'm actually going to probably do a little demo, I don't know if you guys would want me to do a little walkthrough on StreamYard, and I can show you kind of how it works, the pros and cons to it, but also how I'm using it in my workflow. But here's the deal. To get people to go and register for a Zoom room is going to be harder than if someone was to just enter their name and email address to opt in. And then from there, I just send them to a group, right? So when we did the challenge, I wanted it to be as little of moving parts that we had, right? So I wanted to make it super easy. I also wanted to test it out, and everything worked out really, really well. So what I did was I said, okay, we're going to have a basic opt-in. Here's the challenge. Over the next 7 days, we're going to learn how to create content. And by the end of it, you're going to have one piece of content created and published that will potentially start getting traffic. Like that's what we're going to do. If you're interested, put your name and an email address in here. Boom, done, right? That's it, one page. Now we did have an upsell or a bump for the VIP, and then we had also an offer for BCA. It's not important, okay? Forget about that for a second. Now, once you're on the email list, all I need now is I need to figure out, okay, where am I going to have this delivered? Well, you can use Zoom, right? So if I use Zoom, I would then again send you another registration that you'd have to register again, which we did that for the fast track workshops, and it worked okay. But then I wanted to also have a group, a pop-up group for this challenge. So I was like, there's all of these different places. Why don't we just make it the group, right? So in order to get in the group, you had to register, and then that's where you would get the stream. You'd be able to view the stream. Zoom sometimes doesn't work well with Facebook. So I didn't want to have to go here and then make sure that that's streamed in here. It's just more complicated. So I said, I'm going to do this one all the way through using StreamYard and a Facebook group. That's it. So really, to make this challenge happen, all we needed was a Facebook group private. Well, we needed an opt-in page, we needed a Facebook group, and we needed StreamYard that would stream into the group, right? And then the only thing I needed for the content was Google Docs, Google Present or presentation. I think that's what they call it, where Chris and I worked back and forth on a shared, basically slide deck. And then we created the content. We would then share that in the group with our StreamYard. And that's it. And then at the very end, because we're on the paid plan, we can download a high def version of the recording. And every single recording came out crystal clear. So really, really happy with how this turned out. Like I said, I'm most likely going to do a full training inside of Brand Creators Academy on how to use this and how we did it and how you can create your own workshops and all that. But I have no problem sharing any tips here on the Coffee Talk. So if you guys have any questions on that, I'd be more than happy to walk through that stuff with you guys. Kyle, enjoy the weekend. I'll be working on building my email list and recording my first YouTube video. Awesome, Kyle. Keep me posted on that. I know that you're a new Brand Creators Academy member, so definitely make sure that you post that stuff in the private group. All right. When would you hire someone to manage Facebook page? Not for a while. I mean, not until you're getting 100 plus people a day that are joining. Why would someone charge for being a member on a Facebook page? Why not just build a membership site or course for that? Well, they wouldn't pay to be on the page. They'd pay to be in the group. And if the group is gated, more or less, it's private, you got to be let in. That's where that would be. People don't realize this. You could just charge, have a PayPal button, have people and make it recurring if you wanted to do a membership, and then just post all your stuff in a private group on Facebook. And then people get access to the Facebook group. And then you charge per month to have access to it. Like you could totally do that too. Let's see here. I got to get going here soon, guys. So I'm going to try to knock through some more of these. Let's see. Okay. Is the only difference between the group and the page? Group is private. Well, the group can be public too. It doesn't even have to be private. No, it can be public. Do you have any messenger strategies for getting emails? No, I don't really use it, Derek. Not at this point. I don't really need to. I'd rather just use an opt-in, a lead magnet to an opt-in from a Facebook ad. Let's see. I have to Facebook page too. All the engagement is on IG though. That's fine. You can actually build an audience, a lookalike but you can also retarget engagements on your Instagram. I don't know if you knew that, but you can do that inside of the business ads manager. Let's see. I think they have to opt in on Facebook to get an email. Yeah, I mean, there's ways that you can do it, but you got to be careful with that. No coffee this morning? No, I have coffee. It's just my granddaughter was taking the coffee spot. But no, I have the coffee. I want info on StreamYard. Yeah, Karen, it's coming. It's coming. And I know that you're going to use it. And so I think it'd be cool because as I teach it, you're going to be using it. And I think it'd be cool to kind of share how you're implementing it. Yes, would love that. StreamYard versus Zoom for live. What webinar tool do you use? Right now, I don't do any webinars. But I was using Webinar Jam. But if I was to do webinars again, it would probably just be StreamYard, and I would basically probably just post in a group. So that's probably how I would do it. What do you think about evergreen webinars? That is not live. The only time I would ever do an evergreen webinar is when you get the live one to convert well. So I would not turn it evergreen until you need to do a bunch of them. I didn't turn ours evergreen when I was doing them until after about a year of doing lives. You can record lives on StreamYard and sell after. Yeah, you can. We recorded all ours. It's a paid plan. I do have an affiliate link too, but I'm not going to share it yet. I'm going to do some more training on that, Salma. But when you're ready, let me know. I have a link for you. I checked our StreamYard yesterday, and I'm not understanding if you start a live first or go into StreamYard and it goes live on Facebook. Yeah, Karen, I'll run you through that. If you hang tight, next week I can do that for BCA. So hang tight. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Yes, you too. How much is StreamYard? It's free, but you can't record if it's free. It's also going to have a watermark. You can do up to 20 hours a month. The paid, I think, is $25 a month, and then it goes to $49 a month. And then if you do the yearly, I think that goes down. But the cool thing is too, is you can simulcast. So meaning like right now I can record, I can stream on YouTube. I can stream on Facebook page, a Facebook group, Periscope, even Twitch. I can multi-stream. A lot of times you have to buy another tool that allows you to do that through another platform. StreamYard builds it in, which is really cool. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Here's what I want to do though. Two things. Number one, if you were part of our content creation challenge, I did want to remind you there's going to be an email going out today really soon, I think around 11:15, with a reminder on your private invite to Brand Creators Academy. Keep an eye out for that if you're interested. It's an offer that I'm not sure that we'll ever do again. I don't know, but we're going to do it right now. The other thing is anyone that is thinking that I want to build a list, I want to start building that audience, then I would definitely recommend heading on over to emaillistclass.com. That'll take you to our list building workshop. Chris and I did it 3 hours plus some Q&A that we did. You get access to all of that, plus a workbook, a full training just through the workbook and the ebook that we created for it. But then also you're going to get all of the steps so you can start taking action immediately and start building that list within 24 hours. So again, that's emaillistclass.com. That'll take you to that page. All right, guys. So that is it. That is going to wrap up this coffee talk. I will be back here Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure you're here, and not sure what we're going to talk about yet. I'll figure that out. I got a 3.5 hour car ride. I'll probably start thinking about Monday's topic. If you guys have an idea for me, drop it in the comments, and who knows, maybe I'll make that my Monday coffee talk discussion. All right, guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, and I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Take care, guys.